And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Season 4 of the Zoom Racing League. This time, it's Division 2. We're in Sao Paulo, Brazil today, home of Interlagos, one of the most famous tracks of all time. And if you look, you got a bunch of new drivers this year. You know, you got guys coming up from D3, guys coming down from D1. So, Buffalo, you know, is there anyone the world should look out for, or the people should look out for today?
Yeah, tons of guys, man. Look, new season, new faces. There's going to be a couple guys that I think are going to remain consistently at the front, right? Sid, of course, I think is going to be a major player. Buzzgod, of course. But there are also guys that kind of came up from D3 that have still shown like incredible pace, right? I'm thinking about Axel Eyes for one, currently in the hot seat, probably has the pace to be more towards midfield. And then my Alfa Romeo guys, Ian and Luke Brax, both showed incredible pace in a lot of the reserve races. So I look for them to kind of be near the top as well.
Yeah, and you look at all these drivers, and you got to think, you know, Division Two is definitely a different animal this season. But I promise everybody out there, it's the same beast. Shout out Kobe Bryant. I just wanted to say that really bad. Um, and so yeah, we got our first driver on track, not tack. It's the greatest I have ever witnessed, the greatest I've ever seen. Buzzgod in the McLaren. Some think he should have gone number one. I could definitely make that argument. But he's out in the McLaren first, looking to have a hot start in his Division 2 redemption story. As Zebra Strike, the new Division 4 admin,
Tough.
is out of the session before it even really began.
Tough start for Rod Guy, huh?
Yeah,
And the Williams.
That's tough.
Yeah, not the way you want to begin the season. But hey, I agree with you on Buzzgod, man. I think he's top tier talent. You know, McLaren could come out with the steal of the draft. I think they got him at what, P7 or something in the. I mean, dude, that could be big points. Adam's picks are looking very strong early on.
Oh yeah, across the divisions, like we saw earlier tonight. You know, NVA Marino, maybe should have won the race, ran out of fuel, but NVA is one of the best drivers in Division 3 as well, and he got him at 7 and like 15. So, McLaren is definitely out to surprise folks. And we're going to watch the McLaren of Buzzgod as he starts the first hot lap of the session. I'm thinking a time to aim for in this first lap is a 107.3, 107.2 for the first couple of rounds. Once we get closer to the end of the session, maybe midway, we'll start seeing more of those 106s. I don't really know. I don't know what to expect for the pole time. But I know it's going to be probably quite a bit faster than what we just saw in that Division 3.
Yeah, we could definitely see some 106s. I think the pole in D3 OG was like a 107.1, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
I think we're definitely going to see some guys break into the 106s here. We'll see what Buzzgod puts. And man, after practicing this track, right, night after night, I'm really looking forward to seeing how quick these guys are on it because, just kind of where they're finding pace, right?
And he goes 107.7, so he's definitely going to have to. It's a nice little banker, but you're definitely going to want to go again. As I like to say, is we're going to hop on board Marino. I think he got third place in Division 3 to set a 107.8. Mr. Sandunga, one of the greatest drivers in Division 2 right now, 107.8 as well. So yeah, they're not setting the fastest lap times in the world, but those times are just going to come crashing down. Shaggy Muffin, 107.5. We're on board with Zux, former Division 1 Alpha Tauri. We got to shout out the Alpha Tauri Brotherhood. He's team principal in the Aston Martin now, and he set a 116. There's an absolute flyer from him right now. I think he's going for another push lap, so we're going to stay on board with him. Prison Mike with the first, I think, real time so far. Combined YouTuber 107.1. So there we go. That's the real time. That's the one everyone's aiming to beat so far. That was the Division 3 pole time, and he set it in the first 5 minutes of the session.
Yeah, really quick there. He certainly got up to pace super quickly. YouTuber could be one to watch too, right? He kind of joined us late towards last season and was really able to shake up the D2 field. Really kind of made some strong pushes. So combined YouTuber could be one to watch here in the front as well.
I think that Ferrari team as a whole, they're both, Australians, both extremely rapid, and they're both, a little bit of unknowns. Yeah, we've seen them here and there. You've heard whispers about them here and there as well, but you don't truly know what they're made of until they're in the full-time seat, and I'm excited to see, what kind of things they can get. As Zux goes 107.5, right above Spanini 107.6.
Zux, old Joel Guron, really interesting strategy in the draft, ladies and gents. If you didn't see it, Aston Martin, of course, with 2 picks, and he decided to take himself first and give himself the lower pick. Hey, that's confidence, I guess, right? But we'll see what it means for the team. He was still able to get Spanini, though, and I think that's a really strong lineup.
Oh, 100%. Going into it, at from people I was talking to, other team principals, I'm gonna name it because I'm not a coward. It was Red Bull. He was telling me, there's 4 drivers he wants to take with that second pick. Sid was more of a lock, but there's 4 or 5 drivers he could take, and Spanini was in there. So for him to fall all the way to the Aston Martin is incredible, and he fell to the Aston Martin second pick, which is just huge. And we're on board with Will Graham right now. Set a 107.8. He didn't have the greatest Division 1 season for his first season last year. He was just kind of chucked out there, thrown to the wolves, as they like to say in Division 1. And so I'm hoping he can turn around here in Division 2, maybe find his feet a little bit quicker, and then get back up to that Division 1 level.
Yeah, I think we can definitely see that. I'm hearing from the paddock too that the second Alfa Romeo driver, Ian Brax, should be ready for quali actually. So we'll see if we can get a setup on a time and put in a lap. But that'd be a nice turn of events for the Alpha guys in their first official race in ZRL.
So rumor is around the paddock you might know a thing or two about the Alfa Romeo. So is there anything you would like to share, not just about the brothers, the Brax brothers, but about the team in general? Is there a philosophy y'all have? Is there something you're shooting for as the season goes on? I just want to know a little bit more about maybe a team we don't get to discuss a lot in the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, I think one thing we're going to excel at early is being clean and being consistent, right? If we can get our guys to show up, they're going to do everything really crisp.
Buffalo, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there's rain falling on the track right now.
Wow, interesting. So that's going to come out in strategy because I know that Luke Brax was waiting in the pits for a while, and if he didn't get a dry lap on, then the Alpha Boys might be starting in the back. So Sid just putting in a 107.126. That might be the quickest time we see for a while.
Mm-hmm. Wow. All right, sorry to interrupt, but back to what you were saying about Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, I think we're going to be clean and consistent, and I think our pace is going to surprise people. We're certainly fighting for kind of a top of the midfield spot, but I mean, early on, right? Cushy with a P6 earlier today. I was lucky enough to come away with a P8. I think there could be some podiums in our future in all 4 divisions. So, really excited for season 4.
Yeah, no doubt. I think you have maybe arguably the steal of the draft. As Spanini's out, maybe that's why he fell.
Yeah.
He's parked on track, though, is what it looked like. That was weird. As Thermo goes 107.4 due to the rain. He's hoping for probably a 106.8.
Yeah, Spanini looked like, I don't know if he couldn't decide if he wanted to pit or not. He was just really close to that wall and banged his right wheel and gone.
And no bueno. As Luke Brax does a little bit of it does it Tokyo style, drifts into that little thing right there as he goes into this left-hander.
Yeah, we're interested in that too. Just some strategy, right? If drifting is going to work, then we got to try it, right?
You got to think about it this way. The rain, it's cooling down the track. Maybe it's harder to get heat in those tires. He's got to get those rears heated up so he can get some good traction. That's all he was doing right there. Completely calculated.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Yeah, it's going to look like a recovery race for the 2 Alfa Romeo drivers unless miraculously the rain stops in a minute and the track dries up. But everyone else was able to kind of get out early and put that dry lap in. But I'm confident in their pace, so we'll see. It'll also allow them, OG, to go on the alternate strat. So usually you try to squeeze in a one-stop on Brazil, right? Soft, medium, medium, soft. But this track could be a bitch on tires. I mean, how did you guys fare kind of with the strategy in the first 2 races?
So, with in D4 with Snow Crab, first of all, I want to shout out Snow Crab. He got 4th place in the AlphaTauri. I had no idea what to expect from him, but he set the bar high for the rest of the AlphaTauri guys. But the tire was weird there. We had to pit an extra time. There was a safety car, so the tire strategy or the tire wear wasn't as big of a deal. But there in D3, I wasn't too worried about tires. I think I pitted at the wrong time. On the softs, I think I pitted a little bit too early, and so it kind of screwed my lap up as Luke Brax keeps going 111 again. So yeah, the track is definitely really wet right now. Don't crash, Luke. Just a little spin out. But yeah, the tire wear definitely it hurts, and my pace was falling off tremendously at the end on those older mediums, and maybe if I pitted a little bit later, I could have held on to it. So yeah, it can definitely the tire wear can definitely throw you for a loop here.
Bronson, the only one on a heater. I guess we're probably not going to see much more heaters from now on. Most guys just chilling in the pits. There's no sense really in going out.
Well, Big Mama
I don't know
Frank
what the
is on the inters, I guess, to just feel the track, I guess.
He could, yeah. I was gonna say I'm not sure what the weather report is for the race, but if they are trying to get some wet weather, kind of like a feel, right? I mean, you could use the last half of the session just to get a sense. But if it's gonna be dry, then it doesn't really matter.
If anything, at least in my case, Big Mama Frank is definitely a better driver than I am. But in my case, I think switching from the wet tire, the wet conditions, and then going right back to dry would throw me off. So I'm not too sure why he's out there right now, but
Yeah,
again,
it's like
we
going
don't know
in
the
time
weather.
trials.
We don't know the weather for the race, so.
Cal retires, Ian Brax retires, Freddie retires as well. But that's fine. Our boys are more of race pace guys anyway, so we'll be good there. Is Big Mama Frank the only one on inters right now?
So
No.
Shaggy Muffin is going right now as well. I'm wondering if we'll get, we have how many people retired right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we can get a group retired before the session is over, just because there's no real reason to be out here right now other than to keep the car warm, I guess. I really don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some intel from the paddock as to what the weather could be showing for these guys during the race. Can't really see right now, but yeah, spattering of guys retiring. Sid even out on inters too. I'm curious to see what type of oh, sorry, Sid's not on inters. My fault. I'm curious to see what kind of times these guys are going to put in on these tires.
Big Mama Frank with a 1:16.3. Shaggy Muffin, we're going to see what they're going to do. So they're going to be we knew they were going to be way slower on the inters.
Yeah.
But, I'm getting a feeling that it has to be a, shout out Ethan Patel, a wet weather race. It has to be, if they're doing the inters, it has to be a wet weather race. I'm going to say it right so I don't slip up again.
Yeah.
But
I just heard it looks dry the whole way, so I don't know, man. Maybe they just doing it for fun. We'll see. Flipping and sliding, Big Mom Frank with a little bit there, but yeah, I wonder if we'll see some more retirements here too towards the end of the session.
I'm super ecstatic though for Shaggy Muffin in the AlphaTauri in P3. I'm a little bit disappointed for Sandunga. He's a 106 or 107.6 right now, and I know if the session had remained dry, he would have been doing a 107 flat or just thereabouts. So, the wet weather, it really screwed with his qualifying as he retires from the session. But that's true for a lot of other drivers too. So, just how the cookie crumbles. Sometimes we see drivers, waiting a little bit too late, maybe in the Alfa Romeo, and quality just doesn't fall their way.
Yeah. These early Brazil races, though, have been nothing short of exciting. We've seen a lot of action in D3 and D4 as Shaggy Muffin retires.
Well, Shaggy Muffin had just crashed. I'm unaware how it works, whether because he's crashed, if that'll push him to the back of the grid? I don't think so, but I know in full quali it does, but in short, I don't think it does. I'm not 100%, but you never know. But that tire is destroyed. We're gonna get a new set, Pirelli. Need it desperately.
Call him up. Yeah, I think because that time is valid, I think he should probably still be good. Oh, big bump for a little squirrely there at the end. I'm still on with him. McLarens are out too for some wet weather laps.
A little grid lineup, little grid pairing that we're going to see at the start of the race that I want everyone to make note of is Buzzgod and Freddie Rizal, 14th and 15th. It's going to be a battle of the Brits there. You know, who's going to come out on top? We really already know. It's going to be the greatest I've ever seen. But, you know, Freddie's not going to go down without a fight, especially when title of the best Brit is on the line, you know. So I'm interested to see, you know, what kind of shenanigans they get up to in turn 1 and throughout the rest of the race.
Yeah, it's got to be one of those. Is Barney British too, or?
No. Barney is Virginian, as far as I am aware. We got a lot of people from Virginia.
I'm from Virginia, actually, too.
So, we got even more people from Virginia. So how about that? I think Victor Diaz is... I think Victor and Barney are actually from the same town, or close towns, if not the same.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Up in northern Virginia. They call it Nova.
Yeah, I am also in northern Virginia.
My.
I'm outside of D.C.
Well, we're
like an hour outside of D.C.
And then Spanini is also in northern Virginia. So we're getting a little too northern Virginia-ish for me.
Oh, what, does it bother you?
Well, I've just never been surrounded by so many northern Virginians. Yeah. I just don't know how to react.
That could be intimidating at first. No, I get it. You know? Is that Sid around in turn 1, or? No, I can't tell. It's the other Red Bull. Who's the other Red Bull?
Well, Big Mom Frank's out. It's got to be a...
Oh, there it is. That's what I'm seeing in the yellow in Sector 1. And looks like turn 3.
So how many seconds in this weird, chaotic, not even necessarily chaotic, just flat out weird qualifying session? This is maybe the weirdest.
A little bit anticlimactic. I was looking forward to them, you know, seeing some really hot laps out of these guys.
Anticlimactic I think is the perfect word to describe this. Just, you know, you're expecting rain and then it just kind of fizzles out the rest of qualifying.
Yeah. So mercifully, the session starts to come to a close as Sid continues hot lapping on the inters just for fun.
So as it stands, your pole sitter is Sid in the Red Bull, last year's World Driver Championship winner. You know, starting season 4 off right where he left it, in the first place, the driver's seat. Followed the new guy, combined YouTuber, and in third place, the AlphaTauri of Shaggy Muffin, former Red Bull, turned AlphaTauri here in season 4 in third place. So that's, you know, that's exactly what I wanted to see out of my AlphaTauri, and I know they're gonna do great in the race. So I'm really excited, really proud, ready to see how it goes.
Yeah, Shaggy Muffin doing his best Pierre Gasly impression there.
Exactly. And then right behind him in the McLaren, Buzzgod's teammate, Prison Mike, Big Mom Frank 5, Thermo 6 in the Haas. That's someone to keep an eye on for sure. Cal in the Alpine 7, Marino 8, Zux 9, Bronson 10, Sindunga, AlphaTauri 11, Spanini 12, Davies 13, the greatest I've ever seen, 14th. Freddie Rizal, the youngest or former youngest race winner in Zoom Racing League,
shame.
15th. Will Graham 16th, Axel Eyes 17th. The Brax brothers 18th and 20th, and Zebra Strike 19th.
Yeah, Thermo is going to be one to watch. I can add a little intel on that, practicing a little bit earlier in the week. He has incredible pace, really quick. I think Haas may have gotten a steal there, as much as I hate to say it. So we'll see if Thermo can shake things up here and bring that team some points.
He's definitely got pace. He's got a lot of other things too. You know, he's turning into quite the villain in the
Yeah.
paddock. You know,
Hmm.
some guys think it's awesome. Some guys, you know, yeah, we don't know. But you know, I do like the storyline. I like it from an outsider point of view. So I'm glad I'm not in Division Two for that. I still wish I was in it, but um, there's a lot of extra stuff going on. But you know, I think we got two villains in there. We got Freddie Rizal, who started. You know, people thought this season he was definitely going to be a villain, and then it turned out Thermo's the main villain. Fred's really just a side
Mm.
villain right now. It's pretty interesting. Um,
Yeah, you could call Freddy Rizal the Robin of the villains.
whew. Are you
Yeah.
saying Freddy is the Harley to Thermo's Joker? Is that what I'm hearing right now?
Yes, that's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
So they're doing their formation lap, warming up those tires.
Yeah, I get an AWS strategy insight showed two-stop strategies, but we kind of think that everybody's going to do some sort of one-stop here. In fact, I
Hmm.
think in the D3 race there were only two drivers that opted for the two-stop, and it may have been because they had damage. I don't know if um, maybe you have more intel there, OG, but I think everyone's going to try to do a one-stop of some sort.
I think so for sure. Zenith had a two stop because she was gonna go for fastest lap. Um, you know, just missed out on it. But you know, there was a large gap to the person in front of her. She lapped the person behind her, so there's really nothing you have to lose,
Hmm.
everything to gain by going on to those extra set of softs. So she went for it, tried to go for fast lap, tried to push, maybe you can catch the person in front of you on those fresh softs. Didn't work out for her, but you know, who's to say someone in the same position if you know a Luke Brax or an Ian Brax, you know, they're down there. You know, they got a big gap behind them. Um, they might as well go for the softs. You know, depending on just there's a lot of things going on.
Right now I'm with Prison Mike here, and I'm wondering how he's starting 4, and he fell all the way to P13 in the formation lab. Something must have happened there.
Just wanted to be
Well,
next
these
to his
guys are getting going.
teammate. That's
Maybe he
funny.
stalled or something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe he last minute strategy discussion with
Oh
Buzzcon.
yeah,
We'll
yeah,
say that was the reason.
right outside the cockpit, just giving hand signals. Yeah, so this is a pretty exciting turn one. We saw a lot of chaos in Division 3. Someone, you know, I think we should make note of, combined YouTuber has the inside line on Sid. Prison Mike has the inside line on Shaggy Muffin. Um, and, you know, drivers not wanting to cede that position, especially so early on the race, you know, can definitely cause
Yeah,
chaos. So we're going to see how it ends up.
really tough going into turn 1. And again with Thermo, he has really quick starts, so I'd look for him to maybe jump a couple positions off the gun and see if he can maybe be in P4
And they're off. It
on
looks
turn
like
1.
Sid has a pretty decent start. Combined YouTuber right behind him. Shaggy Muffin, P3 still. So Sid makes it clean. Shaggy Muffin going to fight. Wow. So Zebra Strike and Aston Martin of Joel are already out of the race. They're 3 wide going through the center S's coming down this main straight. Shaggy Muffin's about to get passed by Prison Mike. Thermo down to P6. Big Mo Frank up into P5. That was chaos. It still is. There's another. I think it's Mr. Sandunga had to go in the grass right there for a second. So that
Wow,
was a lot.
that was a lot. So chaos there. Yeah, take a breath. OG big losers so far, of course. You see Joe Goran and Zebra Strike are now out. Lukany and Brax up 2-3 points respectively. Davies with a rough start. He's down 5. Will with a strong start. He's up 4. Axeli's up P3. We're familiar with his pace for sure.
Hmm.
Um, so there it was. There's the turn 1 chaos. And to be fair, I don't think that happened in any other divisions. So look, curious to see if anyone's got damage. Maybe someone comes into the pits here. Someone involved in all that chaos. But there we go. Nothing really up front though, OG, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the top 8 they leveled out. You know, there was a little worry there for me and Shaggy um, at the beginning, but you know they leveled out. Shaggy kept his P3 position, and you know we're gonna have hopefully a safer restart on the safety car restart. But you know you got to feel for Joel and Zebra who died immediately.
Yeah, that's tough. And I didn't even see the incident too. I don't know what. I'll see if I
Yeah,
can get some insight here from the paddock, but that's tough.
yeah, it's brutal, absolutely brutal. And lap 1 safety cars are just lame. They don't really throw any strategy into the mix. No one's going on to the hards. No one's, they're just gonna keep the strategy. It's just a safer start to the race essentially.
Yeah, I think so too. So it looks like Davies did go into the pits, and so I'm hearing from the paddock that it may have been Davies that apparently turned in to Joel Guron and caused the DNF. So it's possible we could get them into the broadcast to discuss anything. So we do have Ryan Zebra in now. Ryan, what's going on, man? What happened at the start?
I got a pretty good start there, going from 19th up a position or two. I'm on the left side, and then an Aston Martin comes out of nowhere, crashes into the wall, doesn't ghost, and I can't react and run into it, and I'm done.
That's brutal. That's absolutely
I wonder if that could be. Joel, what happened from your perspective?
So I got anti-stall.
Oh, dang.
I got on and went going, and on the right, a Ferrari is next to me, and all of a sudden, I'm turning left while I was going straight. So, yeah, I don't know.
So I'm sure we'll see footage of that kind of later on. Davies is now towards the back in P18 after he must have had to pit for damage, I'm assuming.
Like, I was trying to go as straight as possible, dude, because I saw 2 cars on squeezing me, and I just couldn't do anything.
Wow, that's brutal.
Yeah, brutal. It is what it is.
Tough. Well, look.
Can't have fun here in Brazil, so.
It's true.
Yeah,
no
great
fun
track.
zone.
Tough luck, guys.
See you guys.
See ya. So scratch everything I said about Thermo, about Freddie Brazil being the villains of Division 2. Davies just took out a great friend of mine, Joel Guron, the Aston Martin team principal. As far as I'm concerned, that's the most wanted man in Division 2 right now. Public enemy number 1 is Davies in the Ferrari. He's in P18 right now, so...
in lap 3, making season-long decisions with all this information.
I mean, yeah, I haven't seen the incident. I'm not gonna look at it when the video comes out. I just know. I trust my guy. This is how it is.
And Davies has got lots of proof, right? I mean, really quick in the reserve division, right? But hasn't had a full-time gig yet. He's got a little bit of a recovery race ahead of him. So we'll see what happens. Is safety car in this lap? I haven't heard anything yet, but
oh, there you go. Timed it perfectly. Something weird I just saw was Freddie and Axelize. It just showed them switching positions. So I don't know if maybe Axelize had a little incident. But Fred is back up in a P14, and we're gonna see the safety car restart from Sid. He's kind of the king of restarts. He does them quite a bit. It's either usually him or Johannes. See, can he catch anyone sleeving? Combined is on his rear. And they're off. Combined on his tail.
Yeah.
Shaggy Muffin still P3. I think, so the Thermo and Big Mama Frank are going to be fighting right there. And they're going to have to go too wide through the Senna S's, and Thermo comes out on top in that interaction. And Mr. Sandunga, he's fighting with the Williams of Will Graham. He got up 2 positions on that safety car restart. It's P11. Will he have to cede to Bronson? I don't think so. So Sandunga up into 9th now. Great safety car restart from both the AlphaTauris. One gaining positions, one staying the same.
OG, while that was going on, man, really good eyes on Freddie and Axelize. It looked like Freddie may have had some damage. He went into the pits. He's now in the back of the field. Lucani and Brax up to P13, 14. Davies up to P15. Marino and Spanini may have had a moment too. They tumbled down the order. They're P16 and 17 respectively and fighting themselves.
Yes, a lot of chaos so far. Thermo in the Haas, formerly the #1 villain, is on the tail of Prison Mike in the McLaren right now. And it looks like he may be able to make it into turn 1, depending on... He's not burning ERS right now. And so he's going to go for it into the Senna S's. He backs out just a little bit. Prison Mike stays ahead for now, but he gets a better exit out of it. Takes a wider line. And Prison Mike, they're neck and neck, coming through this first little straight right here. Thermo, that's great racing right there. Maybe no push. There's no pushing anyone wide, but Thermo just went a little bit wide. And they're still neck and neck coming in to this right-hander, and Thermo wins out on that battle, but Prison Mike's not going to give up so fast.
No, he's not going to give up. I thought that was great racing, and I don't think Prison Mike pushed him at all. I think that Thermo did end up going a little bit wide. He drained a ton of ERS there, OG, so I'm wondering how that's going to affect him later in the race. You know, some people, it's a little bit setup dependent, but some people have a hard time recovering ERS on Brazil. It can be a very trying track, you know, kind of keeping your battery up to snuff. So might not be a problem for Thermo, but something to watch.
The other thing to watch is, you know, that little battle with him. You know, he did win the battle, but he's now 1.2 seconds off of Shaggy Muffin and DRS. And so Shaggy needs to hold on to combined YouTuber for dear life right now and just stick in that DRS zone and just pull away.
He's got it now, but YouTuber's going to have it on Sid. Spoonini sets the fastest lap from way back down in P16. He's on his 5-lap old softs. Now, Freddie and Marino are on fresh mediums from, sounds like maybe their respective incidents on the restart. So they'll probably have to make another stop, OG, right? I mean, 30 laps on medium, tough.
You know, maybe they're banking on another safety car there towards the end of the race. I don't know. As the gap from 3rd to 4th is climbing a little bit, 1.5, Shaggy Muffin 0.5 off of combined YouTuber. Shaggy's having a great race so far. Sandunga on the tail of Bronson. Sandunga opted for the alternate strategy. He's on the mediums. So that's going to be interesting to see how that turns out for him. But, I mean, these guys are close. I mean, 1 through 3 super close, and then 4 through 8 super close. It's just, you know, this is great racing.
Yeah, Mr. Sandunga currently top of the alternate strategy guys on the medium tires in P10. But he's going to have Axel Eyes and Bud Scott on his gearbox pretty soon, and they'll be inherently quicker with those soft tires.
And Prison Mike fights back Thermo down that DRS straight, but Thermo's going to have DRS down this straight. Does a little of a switcheroo right there. Thermo's going to have DRS. He's going to be a little bit faster down the straight. They're going to have to go too wide again. And Thermo comes out on top for now. Big Mama Frank is right behind him. And then Cal and the Alpine as well right behind him. So they're just 4 super, super close right now.
Yeah, this is a great battle we're seeing between all those guys. And the fighting between 4 and 5 and Thermo Prison Mike allowed Big Mama Frank and probably Cal to get back into it. So we'll see if Bronson Stafford can maybe close that 2-second gap and try to make a train as everybody starts jockeying for position.
Yeah, I mean, Bronson, we saw him in D1. He's one of the faster drivers, you know, in the division, I think. You know, maybe not shown his true pace just yet. But I mean, I say that, and then, you know, you got all these new guys and former guys coming in that, you know, have arguably just as better pace. So, you know, you really never know. This is the first race of the season. Things are going to unfold. We're going to see a lot of new things as Thermo is going to have to defend. Prison Mike thinks best of he's going to get him on this next DRS straight. So these guys, I think, are going to be fighting for 4 and 5 all race.
Yeah, I thought for a second combined YouTuber was going to go for a move on the Senna S's. He's got DRS on Sid going the front straight, but he's not going to have enough room to make a move going into turn 4.
Yeah, and I think Thermo and Prison Mike have to start fighting a little bit. They're going to have to start pulling each other. So instead of going too wide in these corners, they're just going to have to let each other pass on the DRS, stick right behind them again, and then just catch up because you're now 2.5 seconds back of Shaggy Muffin in P3. So just switch back and forth until you're in the DRS range of Shaggy and then start battling it out again.
Yeah, I don't know who is going to communicate that strategy to him because P4, 5, 6, and 7, you have 4 different teams with 4 different manufacturers, and they are not talking strategy, I can tell you that.
And, you know, maybe Flossie in the Haas, he's saying we're in 5th right now. You know, fight for these points. You know, we're maybe not supposed to be here, but, you know, it is Thermo. You'll probably be here quite a bit more times throughout the season. But we got, how many laps do we have left? Like 27? So
yep.
Plenty of racing left ahead as Cal looks at it on Big Mama Frank. Big Mama Frank goes a little bit defensive. He's going to have to go ultra defensive here because Cal has the exit and the DRS. They're showing me a cam from the inside of his car. I don't quite like that, but Big Mama Frank is passed by Cal. Prison Mike 4th, Thermo 5th, Cal 6th, Big Mama Frank 7th. And Will Graham, I think, he has a little bit of an incident. He spun out. And so Mr. Sandunga 10th, Axel Eyes 9th in the Haas. So Haas is having a fantastic race so far in 5 and 9.
Yeah, Haas doing really well right now on the primary strat. Tough luck for Will. He kind of tumbled down there, allowed Davies go all the way up to P12, and he's on mediums, OG. So he's been able to kind of work his way up the field on the alternate strategy, showing really, really good pace.
Yeah, and so we got a couple people on the alternate strategy. We got Sandunga, Davies, Ian, Brax. So I'm really interested to see, how that turns out, what time they're going to pit. And Marino, back to his ways, is DNF'd out of the race.
Oof.
I'm not quite sure why he's retired from the session. His car's just pulling off. It was still moving. I'm really unsure of that. But Sid, overtaken by combined YouTuber.
Yeah, that was a couple laps into making that pass, and actually I'm on with Sid right now. We might be able to get a view of that Merc. No, it did get cleared, so no safety car for Marino's DNF, and his race ends early too, so tough.
So something to watch for, I think, obviously throughout the season, but especially in this short track and all these drivers are so close together, are penalties. Penalties, I had a 6-second penalty in that last race. It didn't, but it was super close to costing me. And so, you got to be super careful. You're going to be in these tight little pods, and one penalty can throw you from first in the pod to last.
Yeah.
So you got to be super careful. Sid and Shaggy have the DRS combined. Goes to the outside. Sid does not take the bait.
Thermo just made a move on Prison Mike going into turn 1 as well, although Prison Mike should have DRS here on the first straight. He does. Is he going to use battery, or is he going to try to be smart and just hang on?
So Sid thought about the outside on combined YouTuber right now. So these guys are just absolutely battling, and it's allowed Shaggy Muffin to get within 2/10. They're going too wide at this long right-hander right here, and Sid's gonna come out on top, and Shaggy Muffin is on the tail of combined YouTuber.
Great racing to make a pass in that part of the track. I mean, that exit speed is so crucial too. You can gain a lot of time down there, but to make a pass going into that turn, I mean, usually you're kind of like off throttle, 6th gear, right? Trying to make it mostly engine braking into there. That's just great racecraft.
Yeah, phenomenal. But this track's so short, it's so hard to build, a gap. And he's built a 7/10 gap. But combined YouTuber is going to have DRS once again. And Thermo is now within 1 second of Shaggy Muffin, or he was. He's now, backed out, so maybe didn't get the greatest exit. But, Thermo, they're clawing back towards Shaggy Muffin.
Yeah, Shaggy Muffin maybe got the best exit out of the last turn of any of the top 3 guys. He was picking up some really good ground. And he's got another great exit coming out of turn 3 into turn 4. He's going to take P2.
Let's go. So something to note just now,
boys, there you go.
Big Mama Frank is the first person to pit. So he's going for the undercut. He was around P5. So we're going to see where he comes out in regards to Thermo, Prison Mike, and Cal when they pit. So that's what we're kind of eyeing right now. Shaggy Muffin is without DRS of Sid, though. We need some Honda power to slow up in Sid's car and allow it. But Thermo is now within... So now Shaggy Muffin is the head of this DRS train. Sid is not within a DRS train. And it's Shaggy, combined, Thermo, Prison Mike, Cal. Shaggy has a little bit of a bad exit, but great drivers correct those. And guess what? He corrected it. So, he's coming down. Is combined going to be able to make a move on him? He's not. Shaggy places his car right. And I believe that's Fred's 6-second penalty. So they're staying out. They're electing to go for a little bit of an overcut here if they're 2 laps out after Frank is pitted. But they're all in a DRS train. And so if Frank is not, Frank is in clean air right now. So they're not in a little DRS train. Or they are, and Frank is not. So it might be slowing Frank down quite a bit. Shaggy Muffin being chased down by Thermo in the Haas right now.
Yeah, speaking of the Haas, I'm watching BuzzGod put pressure on Axel Eyes here, who, again, has shown incredible pace above his current seat, I believe. He's currently leading a DRS train, and BuzzGod hasn't been able to make the pass happen just yet. They're both on 12-lap softs. Couple places below that, OG, we see Mr. Sandunga leading the medium starters, and Davies on 10-lap old mediums his recovery race is well underway. Now, he'll still have another stop, though. Potentially.
And Thermo dives into the pit, so we're going to see where he comes out in regards to Big Mama Frank. So this is going to be interesting. Big Mama Frank right on the tail of Ian Brax. He now has DRS. Can the Alfa Romeo help the Red Bull of Big Mama Frank?
Yeah, it looks like he's riding out of ERS too. The smart thing to do for Ian is let him go. As Luke Brax comes into the pit, he's pitting. He'll be on mediums for the rest of the race.
And Thermo stays ahead of
Wow.
Big Mama Frank.
Huge deal in the race right now. We'll see what that gap is kind of as it settles, but right now it's over a second. Huge dub for Thermo on the strat.
And now we're going to see where Thermo ends up in regards to Combined, Shaggy, Prison, and Cal. You know, those are kind of the guys he's fighting right now. Sid is 2.5 seconds, or 2.2 seconds ahead of them. So we're going to see where Thermo, when these guys go into pit, where's Thermo going to end up? That is the question.
Yep.
And both of them decided to go in. So yeah, Shaggy was going to follow Combined YouTuber no matter what he did. Try to get with someone, you know, when you come out of the pits, you're going to have DRS, hopefully the whole time. And so Thermo coming down the main straightaway. They still haven't left the pits yet, or they have. They're leaving.
Thermo into turn 1. Passes Cal.
So he got ahead of both of them.
Wow.
So the undercut for Thermo worked absolute wonders right now.
Yeah, it was simultaneously an undercut on those three guys and an overcut on Big Mama Frank. Man, he finds himself in P7 effectively, really kind of in the lead of this race, right?
Which is weird. So I guess Thermo had, yeah, he had the best of both worlds right there. You know, Big Mama Frank undercut Shaggy Muffin right there. He undercut Cal, but he couldn't get the undercut on Thermo. But that's just how it is sometimes. So Thermo, Combined Uber, Big Mama Frank, Shaggy Muffin. Sid yet to pit. Prison Mike, Buzzgod, and the McLaren are 2-3 right now. Bronson 4th. Prison Mike elects to pit. Will his teammate Buzzgod follow suit? He will. No. Yes, he will. So they're going to double stack here.
Ooh. Something we may have missed too. Freddie Rizal back down in P17. Maybe another incident, but he's got 8 seconds of penalties. So that means it looks like some track limits and then a speeding in the pit lane. Tough for Freddie Rizal. That'll be a hell of a recovery with 20 laps to go.
And yeah, you know,
become relevant.
He's on new gear right now. He's not feeling the most confident. And I think a goal for him this week especially, and you know, just get his feet, get himself stabilized, is just finish the race. If he finishes P15, he's not going to be happy with the 15th, but finishing the race, you got to get points for your team. And that's the big goal right now. As Thermo is out of, or Combined YouTubers out of DRS of Thermo, and I'm wondering if Shaggy and Combined can, you know, work together, get within that 1 second gap again.
Yeah, they could, and it looks like Sid's overcut may backfire a little bit, because that gap, Thermo is making up some time here, and as every lap goes in, Sid is losing. We'll see if he pulls in, or did he not already?
No, he's still out. Mr. Sandunga leading the alternate strategy in P2. I want y'all to take note of that. Look at that Mr. Sandunga in P2 right now. You're going to see a lot of that this season. Hopefully it's towards the end of the race next time.
Shaggy Muffin just sets the fastest lap on mediums with a 109.3.
There we go.
On the power, showing up today.
You know, I just want everyone to know these cars are equal performance. So when he says Honda Power, you know, he's talking about the drivers. You know, these are some of the most talented guys in the AlphaTauri seat you can imagine. And, you know, I'm going to be in the corner no matter what. But they're showing out today, and I'm super proud.
One of the things we specialize on here in ZRL is unbiased broadcasting.
Oh, absolutely.
And, you know, while Honda Power guys are having a good day, I think that these Alpha boys are going to show up a little bit more so. The race is not over there, OG. Almost 20 laps left.
That's absolutely true. And we'll stop talking about our Alpha boy and start talking about your Alpha boys. 11 and 15th. Ian up into 11th. He's also on the alternate strategy. Luke just pitted on the 15th. They're looking to make up some ground, and you know, I don't know what it is, but I feel like they're gonna do it.
I hope so. To be honest, actually, I feel like they've lost a little bit of ground here with the way they fit, right? You see, Luke's already, I don't know who Luke is going to be able to make ground on pit stop wise.
As Thermo comes
That
out
kind
in
of
front of
15.
Sid. So Sid is your effective race leader right now. Well, one, shout out to Mr. Sandunga. He's the race leader right now. But the effective race leader right now is Thermo, followed by Sid, Combined, and then Shaggy Muffin. So Thermo, undercut of Dreams. I don't really know why Sid was hanging out for so long, but Thermo is in the lead of the race.
Yeah, Thermo is. And if Flosi was around to see it, man, he'd be ecstatic as team principal of the Haas. But we were kind of calling it early, man, that he had incredible pace. Something to note, too, Buzzgod's now in P17. And he had just pitted. I don't know if that's just because of the pit stop, OG, or maybe he had a wing change, but I feel like he lost some ground there.
Definitely had a wing change. He's, 17 seconds back of Freddie Rozelle. That's someone he's not going to want to lose to, regardless of the incident that has happened to him. He's not going to want to lose to Freddie Rozelle, and so he's going to claw back, hoping for a late safety car. And I am too as well. Mr. Sandunga Davies up into P1 and P2. If we can get a late safety car, they're going to be in prime position.
Yeah. Sid's still within DRS range of Thermo, so he's in a position to potentially make a move, right? He doesn't fall back, and that actually kind of works to the benefit of Combined YouTuber, because he was, wasn't he 2 seconds back?
Yeah, they were 2
at
seconds
one
back.
point? And so now he can kind of tack on to the back of Sid and remain in contention, as can Shaggy Muffin.
Yep, Shaggy Muffin down into P6 right now, effectively 4th. But assuming, maybe we'll get a safety car. But these guys are relatively close. Anything can happen. You can lose at any moment, especially out of this corner right here. Anything can happen. We have 17 laps to go.
Davies finds himself in P2 as well. So where Mr. Sandunga and Davies going to come out when they pit? As Sid tries to make a move on Thermo, he goes down the inside on the front stretch, and he's going to make it stick going into turn 1.
And there you go. But he's going to Thermo's going to have DRS on Sid coming down this straightaway. We're going to watch Thermo try to close in. He's definitely going to, he's looking at it. He looked at the inside. He didn't, go for it smartly.
Yep, smart move.
But if we take a look at leader standings, Sandunga and Davies, I believe, are going to come out, right around your boy Ian Brax in the P12, P13 area. So I don't know if it'll work out for him. They were ahead of Bronson at one point. Bronson's P11, and so that's their target, P11.
It's really cool how we're seeing just such a shuffle of teams, right, in the standings. You know what I mean? Because they're just like you were saying in the beginning of the broadcast. Unknowns in D1 guys moving down, D3 guys moving up, right, on who's really going to be able to compete with who, not to mention new guys to ZRL completely. So it's really kind of interesting to see, like, Thermo in the Haas right now, P4, right? As Sid sets his fastest lap on 109.1 on mediums.
And Davies had gone into the pits, so Sandunga's the only one out right now. Maybe, and Sid's within a second, so maybe he's just going to try to give him one little Honda kiss, known as DRS, down that straight before he dives into the pits. But he's got to dive into the pits pretty soon. The undercut is quite powerful here, and he's battling Davies right now. So and he just lets him by. Mr. Sandunga lets Sid by, build a little bit of a buffer, but now Sid won't have DRS. Mr. Sandunga parking the bus. Thermo's getting a little bit of little aggro right here. Thermo, watch what you're doing, boy.
Strategy there.
Thermo going for it though. He doesn't care. That's great. I mean, he pushes Sandunga wide, which is terrible, but he's going for it, which I do like that aggressive nature. I hate that he did it on Sandunga, but I do like it when a driver just goes out there and does his thing.
It's a motor race, man. They're car racing, and Thermo was definitely aggressive there to try to get P2. But that'll complete Mr. Sandunga's pit strategy. And as we
Dang.
stand now, I think everybody's going to the end. Ooh, tough penalty for
It's a
Shaggy Muffin.
huge one. But Sandunga, he's down into P11 or P12 right now, but he saved Sid potentially. Thermo's now 1.5 seconds back. So out of DRS, Sandunga, hero
Luke
of
Brax
the
has a
day.
little bit of a moment on his fresh mediums. Or sorry, rather, his 7-lap-old mediums.
So his mediums.
His mediums. Going into turn 4.
And they're the brothers though, 13 and 14th.
So combined YouTuber and Shaggy Muffin still within a train of Thermo. And I don't know, man. You think they're gonna try to work together, or are we gonna see Thermo and combined YouTuber jockey for position for the rest of the race, which would effectively hand Sid the win?
I'm thinking Thermo. We've seen it so far. He likes to fight.
He does.
He would have arguably been better had he stayed behind Sandunga coming out with the DRS. Would have had a better launch. But he doesn't like to wait around. Patience is a virtue. And they touch wheels a little bit, and Thermo comes out the loser of that. They're gonna go too wide again. No, but Thermo's looking at it.
Wheel
Shaggy
banging.
Muffin on his tail though.
Yeah, so they're gonna lose even more ground to Sid with that little bit of wheel banging.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all are fighting, and bro, don't get me wrong. I would kill for a P2, but y'all are fighting for P2, and I know y'all want to win.
Right. They both do. They both do. Because they both feel like they have the pace to win on any given day, right?
But they're handicapping themselves right now by fighting like that. So we'll see how it ends up. I'm hoping they take each other out. Shaggy Muffin P2. There we go, baby. That's the dream. Unbiased commentary.
Yeah, we all could dream. I mean, yeah, look, if I'm going to dream too, then hey, if P1 through 12 all spin out, right, then Luke and Ian are in position for an Alfa Romeo 1-2.
And you can't even be mad at that, truthfully.
No, you can't. I mean, look, if we're talking about dreams, then hey, that can happen. But 12 laps here to go. Sid building up 2-second lead on combined YouTuber, but maybe this lap has been a little bit less aggressive from Thermo. So maybe they are. I mean, I do know there's still collaboration within the Ferrari power unit, so it's very possible there could be some communication going on. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw combined, he likes to weave a little bit on the straights. I wonder if he's going to do it on this one. But Thermo's burning ERS. He's going to get the pass done here. Combined has no ERS either. So Thermo breezes past him. They both have about the same ERS, like 20-ish, 30-ish.
Yeah, but that's probably the right play, right?
Yeah.
And then if YouTuber can stay with him, and they'll trade it off.
Shaggy Muffin looking at the inside of combined YouTuber. Thinks better of it.
Along with Axelized right now, who has DRS on Bronson Stafford, thinking about a move going into turn 4. But, man, talk about the Haas guys right now. I mean, Axelized, now he was in D2 last season as well. But showing that he can still fight with these guys. I mean, the talent's just gotten so strong in this division. But he's putting a lot of pressure on the Mercedes of Bronson Stafford here. And I know he does have a penalty, but there's plenty of race to make that up.
Yeah, we got about 10, 11 laps, 12 laps. I can never do the math. 36 minus 25. But I don't know. Did we start on lap 0 or did we start on lap 1? I never know. So we got 10 laps to go. A lot of time to make up. A lot of time to crash out. A lot of time to do bad things, but a lot of time to do good things. So we're going to see how it ends up. Combined YouTuber. 5/10 back of Thermo. Thermo in P2, Sid in P1. I really don't know how this is going to go between the final 2 podium positions. I have no idea.
And don't look now, but that once 2.5 second gap is now down to 1.6. So maybe Thermo and YouTuber are working together a little bit because they've made up some ground together.
Yeah, maybe a little not team orders, but teamwork for sure. But
Yeah,
where it
yeah.
gets interesting is the final 2 laps. Where does that teamwork take you? You've been
Yeah.
grinding it out, working together, and in the final 2 laps you turn your teeth on. And I don't know, Thermo's shown he's not afraid to go for it. Hopefully it ends up in a crash and Shaggy Muffin can take the win. But truthfully, as Thermo picks up a 3-second penalty, that's actually huge.
Oh,
That is actually
that
huge.
was huge. That is huge. And I wonder if that will come into play with kind of team communication. But look, I think the name of the game right now for these two Ferrari guys are get at Sid, close that gap, and then the last 2 laps just race, right? And just kind of let just naturally just go after it. But with 9 laps to go, you can't afford to have someone like Sid build up a gap. I mean, it's time now, and they got to chip away, which they are.
So the other thing about that Thermo penalty is it's given Shaggy Muffin a little bit of light at the tunnel that makes it sound like he's having a terrible race. He's having a fantastic race. P4 in the AlphaTauri, phenomenal. But he may have been a little bit dejected knowing he's not going to get that podium just because of penalties. But Thermo, with a 3-second penalty, it gives him an opportunity to get in one of those final podium positions. And so look for all 3 of these guys to start scrapping it out here within the next 5 laps or so.
There's a McLaren around in Sector 1, where it looked like he was slow for a bit. BuzzGod has now allowed Freddie Rozelle to get up close to the gearbox of him, but it looked like he was around in Sector 1 for a little bit.
And Fred passes BuzzGod, so you feel for BuzzGod so bad. He had not a great season in Division 2 last time. He got moved down to Division 1 despite his phenomenal pace. He got moved down to Division 3. Sorry, not Division 1. And Sandunga picks up a 3-second time penalty. That's not what I wanted to see. AlphaTauri, man, I got to start, I don't know, bring out the paddle. I don't know, punish them for time penalties, even though I had the most. I think he did 3, but
I think BuzzGod might have some damage here. He's kind of nursing it to the pit lane, and that would kind of be really tough to see if he kind of ends up towards the back of the pack, just like you were saying. I want to go back over in P10, Davies. We spoke about a recovery race a little bit before. He's on fresher, soft tires, and he's got his eyes set on probably P8 because I think he's got the pace and the tires to fight Axelized and Bronson Stafford.
Absolutely. As combined, takes P2 from Thermo, so now Shaggy Muffin and Thermo 3 and 4, but Thermo is still on the tail of combined YouTuber. Thermo is so good through those Senna S's. He's going to get that position back. And he is. It's that Shaggy Muffin. Shaggy Muffin looked at it definitely on combined YouTuber. Did not get it. Wow, they are racing right now. And right
While
back
that was going on, Bronson Stafford lost 2 places on the front stretch. He's back now at P10, and Davies has passed both of them. So he does find himself in P8, and he's got a 2-second gap to Prison Mike in P7. But again, fresher, better tires. He may be able to make that happen.
I mean, yeah, he's in P8, hunting down Prison Mike right now. He's having a phenomenal race after a terrible start.
Big Mama Frank still within range of Cal. He's kind of stuck around in that 1-second window to the Alpine driver for much of the last third of the race or so, 2/3 of the race. Ever since their strategy completed, really.
Yeah, it feels weird, the beginning, before the pit stops, it was, it was Thermo, Cal, Big Mama Frank, and Prison Mike all, like, right next to each other, and then, now Thermo obviously undercut of the year. But it's weird that Cal is like 4.5 seconds back, and it just shows, I think, the power of a DRS train here. How these guys who were relatively similar pace at the beginning, when they separate just by a little bit, that DRS really pulls the rest of the guys along. Sometimes leaves a couple of groups in the dust.
Yeah, your AlphaTauri boy, Mr. Sandunga, has passed Axelize, so he finds himself in P10. Axelize down to P11 on the standard strat, soft to medium. And the field is a little bit more spread out as you get down there. Usually about 3-second gaps until you get between 12 and 13, and Luke Brax is about 19 to make up the Spanini. But yeah.
And something I think to look out for, that Cal in the Alpine, it was, I think, like a 4.5-second gap. It's down to a 4-second gap. And so if he can get within 3 seconds of Shaggy Muffin, then he will have, he'll be in that penalty window and have inherited P4.
BuzzGod just sets the fastest lap of the race at a 1:08.4, and that just goes to show that the pace that he has, right? Yeah, look, there's been some incidents, there's been some bad luck. He finds himself in P17 now, but he just goes out and sets the fastest lap. So he belongs here.
Absolutely, he absolutely belongs here. He belongs at the top. There's a couple of unfortunate incidences. I can tell you right now, whatever they were, none of them were his fault. With 100% certainty, I can say that. Just unfortunate what happened to him. Down to P17. Gonna lose the Battle of the Brits to Freddie Rizal, who had no hope of winning it coming into the race.
Yeah, that's why we race.
Exactly.
I mean, you see all this stuff unfold, right? While Thermo and Combined YouTuber have still been jockeying, Sid's now built that gap up to 3.2 seconds, OG.
And Combined looking at it, going on the inside, doesn't take it. And with 5 laps to go, this is where it really, really starts getting dirty. Not necessarily dirty, wrong choice of words, but it gets feisty for sure.
Aggressive,
yes.
Right? I mean, these guys are going to start racing each other now. Because now might be where the mentality shifts, right? Because if Thermo's thinking he can't make up almost a second a lap on older tires, mind you, on Sid, then he's going to fight tooth and nail to stick on P2.
100%.
And in order to do that, he's going to have to build up a gap to YouTuber, and so he's going to defend. He's going to fight him off. There's a yellow in Sector 2. It's an AlphaTauri.
No! Sandunga, let me look at your wing. Let me look at your wing. I can't tell if it's missing any bits or pieces.
He's back on the track.
He looks like his tires are just so hot right now.
Yeah, it's a little wobbly. Can't quite tell if he has wing damage.
He's got 18-second gap behind him. Go in, pit for new tires, get those hots off. Thermo, Combined YouTuber, Combined takes P2 back. So now Shaggy Muffin, you got to get in there, get Thermo. That's #1 goal for Shaggy right now, but Thermo's going to have DRS to kind of pull him away.
We're going to have a great battle here for the final podium spot.
100%.
Mr. Sandunga did not pit, so he might not have damage.
Just cool the tires off in the straight. And
yeah, he does have that 3 seconds penalties, but if he's got those tires cool, he should be good to go.
Combined, really pulling a gap there in Sector 2. It's 9.8, 9.5, 9.2, so it's going down. At one point, I was not worried, but I was concerned that Thermo was not going to get DRS. And I don't know, does he get it? Does he get it? Does he get it? He does get DRS.
He should, yeah.
Shaggy Muffin biding his time. And Thermo back within 2/10 of Combined. So we're going to see, can he, and Cal getting a penalty is huge for Big Mom Frank and Davies, matter of fact.
It is huge for Big Mom Frank and Davies, and so Davies now, that's about 2 seconds to Big Mom Frank, but man, up from P6, that would be a hell of a recovery race.
Sid on 90 ERS, he's just cruising right now.
Yeah. It's kind of, I feel like Thermo is building a little bit of a gap to Shaggy Muffin, which is unfortunate because the opportunities to pass are going to go away soon. And that gap between YouTuber and Thermo is not increasing. So Shaggy Muffin may just need to really get some good exits coming out of these corners and try to make up some time. Might be tough.
You know, I don't think Thermo's going to be fighting combined. At least I don't think he should. Thermo should just be just riding the tail of combined. He's playing keep away from Shaggy Muffin right now.
I agree. I mean, there's some say for pride he'll go just try to get the
Oh,
spot,
100%.
but the fact of the matter is you're not going to get P2. You won't. So, it's you. That's not a decision for me. I would take the P3.
And coming down, we're on the penultimate lap, coming up to the ultimate lap. We got a tight field. You know, they're in pods right now, but they're still pretty tight. You know, Prison Mike just half a second back off of Davies. You know, these guys, they're pretty close combined right there. Thermo right there. Shaggy right there. We're going to see, headed into the final lap. Lap 36 out of 36. Sid crosses the line to start the lap. Combined YouTuber next. Thermo, then Shaggy Muffin. It all comes down to this. Ian Brax gets penalty. He's going to contest it. There's no way he got a penalty. Combined. Is he going to keep this position right now? Thermo burning all the ERS he has.
Keeps it here.
Shaggy Muffin's got to have the lap of his life.
Great exit coming out of turn 4 from Thermo, too. Really on the back of combined YouTuber. That was clutch. On aging mediums, mind you.
It goes a little bit deep, Shaggy. Just couldn't get what he wanted right there. Shaggy needs a brilliant, brilliant exit out of Sector 3. And I just don't know if he has the time to do it. As Thermo is out of the race, effectively. I don't know what just happened, but Shaggy Muffin inherits P3, but Sid crosses the line to win the first race of Season 2. Combined YouTuber P3. My boy Shaggy Muffin P3. Thermo died.
Fuel. He
Cal
ran out
P4.
of fuel on the last turn and finishes P8 because of penalty.
Wow.
Wow.
What an I've never seen. You know, we saw almost something like that happen with Marino, but it actually happened with Thermo. So Sid P1, Combined YouTuber P2, Shaggy Muffin, I can't speak, I'm just so excited for Shaggy P3, Big Mama Frank in the Red Bull P4, Cal P5, shout out Alpine, Prison Mike 6, Davies 7, Thermo from Hero to Zero P8, Bronson Stafford P9, Axelized. Still a great race for both Haas. You know, it didn't end, you know, with drinks and celebrations, but P8 and 10 for a Haas is nothing to laugh about. Spanini, the only Aston Martin, 11. Sanduga, my other brother in the Alpha Tower, P12. Luke Brax, P13. Will Graham, 14th. Ian Brax, P15. Fred wins the Battle of the Brits in P16. And unfortunately, the greatest I've ever seen, BuzzGod, in P17.
Not the greatest today, but he had some pace with the fastest lap. What a finish, man. I mean, it was coming out of that last turn. Davies with a well-earned driver of the day. I agree with that, actually. He's also my driver of the day. But, man, tough. I mean, just being like, you know, just on a razor's edge with that fuel, and it worked against him. He just had to push a little bit too hard towards the end. I mean, dude, he was half a turn away. He was half a turn away from a podium.
Brutal. But, you know, I'm excited. That was a great first race. It shows what's in store for the rest of the season, and we're gonna get to talk to these guys, Sid, Combined, and Shaggy Muffin. So we're gonna see what these guys have to say. As we get
I think
into
Davies had the fastest lap as well.
Yeah, he had a great race. At Shaggy and at Sid waiting.
news from the paddock so far is that Mercedes is in the mud.
Ooh.
That's what I'm hearing. Tough day after what Bronson P9, and then I forget what even happened to their other one. Johannes, there was a reserve for Johannes, right? Oh, the Marino, he was out.
Yeah, Marino, I don't even know what happened to him.
Shame.
But definitely in the mud. Freddie Rizal, I don't know what he's doing in the waiting room. But, you know, we're switching things up. Normally we go 3, 2, 1. But right now, Sid is the only one in there. So we're going to
Bring in
go
the winner.
1,
Bring
2,
in the winner.
3. Sid!
Sid, you there?
You there, Sid?
Yep.
I mean,
Oh, I didn't hear.
it's a great race, great first race for Red Bull. I think that, you know, that navy blue car, that little bit of red on it suits you perfectly. You had a phenomenal race.
Well, I disagree. It looks terrible.
Oh, wow. So you had a phenomenal race. You know, it just seems like, you know, with how the season ended, how the last season ended, how this season started, just feels like you're on another level almost compared to these guys. You know, how are you feeling, you know, coming out of that season and coming into this season?
I was feeling good about my own pace, but I was also a bit concerned about the level of competition that has grown in D2 now. But I proved myself wrong. I was quicker.
It's what you love to hear right there. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
a big shout out to Mr. Sandunga. I don't know if you guys got
Yeah,
that on
we
stream,
did.
but yeah, that was big team play.
He's
What
a
a legend.
He is an absolute
Yeah.
legend.
Absolute animal.
Yeah, you guys showing really good communication and stuff. How is it different here on Team Red Bull than on Team Ferrari? You enjoyed a lot of success last year with these guys. How's the dynamic different? You know, you guys teamed up with the AlphaTauri guys.
It's a lot more serious than last season. That's what I can tell. Or maybe I'm
Really?
more serious. I don't know.
Ooh.
Just overall, the team environment feels different.
Wow. And I could tell you, man, we don't not take it seriously. You know what I mean? So that goes to show that, man, these Red Bulls are for real.
Yeah, Duncan is super serious about that. But you know, phenomenal race, Sid. Was there a little bit worry when you came out of the pits behind Thermo that were you stressed at all, or did you know you had the fresher tires that you'd be able to make that overtake and then get a gap?
Yeah, before I boxed, Duncan told me, Duncan is my race engineer, so shout out to him. He told me that I wouldn't be in the lead when I boxed and came out of the pits. But I wasn't worried. I told him that I'll be fine. I'll manage to overtake him.
Well, I mean, you did, and then you built a phenomenal gap. So once again, great race, Sid, and we'll
Yep.
see you next week.
Yep. Also, I just want to say this, that I want to dedicate this race to Josh. He deserved that podium in D3. This is for you, man.
There you go. Well, congratulations, Sid, and congratulations, Josh. So next, we're gonna pull in combined YouTuber P2. Combined, can you hear us?
Yep.
I mean, that was some of the best racing we've seen. You and Thermo and Shaggy, for that matter, but some of the best racing we've seen in a long time in Division 2. So just I want to say, first of all, great race. And how are you feeling kind of coming into this season? You started with the P2. Are you looking to bring that and carry that throughout the rest of the season?
Yeah, I hope to get more of these podiums. It's a bit of a mixed feeling because I was told to be working together with Thermo, but he apparently didn't really think I did a good job of that. But I don't believe it's my fault that he ran out of fuel.
Oh,
So-
tough. Yeah. Shots fired there. I think I agree with you, Combined YouTuber. You don't control his fuel count. Man, your teammate, though, Davies, had a really good recovery race. I mean, just you two, you guys had great pace all day today. Were you guys communicating pretty well and kind of like keeping each other tabs of how the field was? How was the team communication today?
I think it went. I think he had a good race. He had a good recovery. Obviously, he had an unfortunate collision at the start.
Yeah.
But yeah, decent recovery and got some good points. So it's a good points for the team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you again. You know, Thermo couldn't play team right. That's not your fault. You did a great race, had a great race, finished P2. I'm sure you're gonna get that elusive P1 pretty soon. But once again, great race, great week. We'll see you next time.
Yep. See ya.
Yep.
And then for our final P3, the greatest, Shaggy. I got
Yes,
it.
sir.
Dude, I'm so happy. I could kiss you right now, man. What a phenomenal race. I mean, you were keeping up with some of the fastest guys I've ever witnessed, and dude, that was just awesome. So I just want to say, this is now the new greatest driver I've ever seen. Shaggy, how are you feeling right now? How are you going to carry this throughout the rest of the season?
I'm looking to keep moving like this, really, as long as Johannes is out. Also, that was a not gonna lie. But my really one of my goals this season is keeping it clean. Unfortunately, I didn't keep it fully clean with that 3-second penalty. In the end, it didn't really make a big difference, but I kept it all on track. I just kind of took it easy. I wasn't ever pushing 100%, and I just wanted to make it to the finish line, and ended up being a podium with Thermo losing it out at the end there because of fuel, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely fuel. I was going to ask you about that kind of going into the last turn, right? Because I'm sure those last couple laps you were just trying to pass Thermo, right? I mean, that was the podium right there, and then it kind of like stalled. I mean, was it like a chaotic moment for you, or were you able to pass him clean?
It was perfectly fine because he ghosted. Really, I was heartbroken because I thought that what happened to him was like what happened to Brian Hackeman, where he like his computer crashed or something. So
That's what
like
I
Right.
thought
I
too.
I just felt really bad. I still feel really bad. Like he deserves to be talking to you guys right now, but I just got lucky and it worked out like this, and he didn't put enough fuel in. But I was pretty sad at first crossing the line. It was sad and happy at the same time. Kind of a weird mix of emotions.
I mean, I'm sure as hell happy about that result. AlphaTauri on the podium. Great race, Shaggy, and I'm looking to interviewing you next week, hopefully, and throughout the season. So great race, and we'll see you next week.
Appreciate it, boss.
And there we have it. Those were our interviewees. Great race from all three of them. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, great race. Got some infiltration here in the booth, a little razzle dazzle. Freddie, dude,
Freddie.
what happened today, man?
Right. Well, you've already spoke to your race winner, but the real winner is here. Freddie Rizal, D2 debut,
And
number
ladies
one
and
British
gentlemen,
driver.
that is it for our Division 2 broadcast. We will see y'all next week.
Thanks, guys. Season 4, Week 2, coming up next. What is it? Circuit of the Americas?
Yes, it is.
Fantastic. Can't wait.